to Lagos, to Port Harcourt, Enugu, to all across Nigeria. We bring you news and information that will make your... We are news. We are 24 News Radio TV. From Abuja to Lagos, Sokoto to Port Harcourt, Enugu to Ilorin, all across Nigeria, we bring you news and information that will make your day. We are news. We are 24 News Radio TV.
Beg your pardon? The program is Crossfire, and today we have somebody who has taken a bold step with regards to contesting in the forthcoming APC elections here in Ekiti State. And in addition, she's of the feminine gender. That's a plus in a way. I'm talking about none other than Madam Abimbola Olajumoke Olawumi. Well, she's a true-born daughter of Ekiti State, and that's why she's qualified to contest. Everybody with the prerequisite qualifications has the right to contest. And she's left nobody in doubt as to her resolve to contest, because she's actually gone ahead to obtain the expression of interest and registration form to the tune of 54 million naira. Here we are. The ruling party is the ADC, and from all indications, it seems itself, in a manner of speaking, to have taken steps to actually go ahead to want to pick up the gauntlet, are all bona fide members of the APC. So, it's left to them to resolve their issues, and definitely without a doubt, sooner rather than later. As a matter of fact, by the 27th of October, a candidate will emerge. Right now, we have 3 aspirants in the persons of His Excellency, the incumbent governor, Mr. Abayomi Oyebanji. And of course, we have the lady who will be featuring on our program for the next one or thereabouts, in the person of again. In any case, I must say that we are fortunate to have this morning, thanks to technology, because she's still in our... another person will think that by now she should... good morning, madam. Good morning. Who here to join us? Nobody in ignorance as to what has happened in Ekiti State in the last 3 years of thereabouts, with the emergence of the incumbent governor, uh, Abiodun, the elite precisely, across board, irrespective of party coloration, irrespective of profession, and so many other things, and that is a plus for him. But you see, human beings are never satisfied with anything. He's actually criticized, because of that. But it's a unique thing because it's never happened before in the history of Ekiti State since creation. Kudos to Mr. Governor for that. Well, uh, according to the rules of engagement, if people could just say it and say, Mr. Governor, continue, he would continue. But he has to be put to test after 4 years. After every 4 years, you're being put to test. He has the right to recontest for a second term, as the law stipulates. But some people feel he's not doing well enough or that he could do better, which is probably why they want to contest against him. But like I said earlier, time will tell. In any case, we have this lady today, and we'll be really looking forward to taking her on. As soon as she joins us, we'll be back to you. The program, like I said, is Crossfire on 24 News, radio, and television. And of course, my name is Shola Oyewole. I think she's here now. Madam,
Yeah, good
good morning,
morning.
madam.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. Welcome, and thank you for joining us on Crossfire on 24 News Radio and Television. It's a pleasure to have you. But before we go into the nitty-gritty of the program this morning, let me start by asking you to please introduce yourself. You might want to assume that, of course, well, I wouldn't say assume. You are a well-known personality as far as it's concerned, but it's only proper that you introduce yourself before we
Please,
go
you are
ahead
barely
with the main
audible.
issue of the program.
Please, you are barely audible. Hello?
Hello, madam.
Hello?
Okay, you're still setting your.
Yeah.
Could you? Okay, good. That is a good one.
Yeah.
That's good the way
I'm
it is
not
here.
certain. I'm not hearing what you're
I'm not
saying.
certain. I'm not hearing what you're
You're
saying.
saying.
So, like I said, please go ahead and introduce yourself, madam. Like you're
Okay, my
listening.
name is Abimbola Olajumoke
Okay, my name is
Olaomi.
Abimbola Olajumoke Olaomi. Yes, definitely you're a true-born daughter of Ekiti State. Would you like to tell us where you're from? What part of Ekiti are you from? Ekiti Central, Ekiti North, Ekiti East, Ekiti what? Where are you from?
I'm from Ekiti Central, from in Ekiti precisely.
Okay. Would you like to tell us about your professional background? What do you do for a living?
I'm a journalist and I'm an entrepreneur.
Okay, very good. Well, the issue of the moment is the fact that you were emboldened enough to go ahead and pick up the forms to be able to contest in the forthcoming primary election of the All Progressive Congress coming up on the 27th of October. Would you like to give us a background as to how you came about that decision and what led to that? But let me first call your attention to the fact that here at 24 News, we are very, very objective and we're really professional to the core. We'll really appreciate it if, well, being a practicing journalist, you know what I'm saying. We'll really appreciate it if you pick your words very carefully so we're not found guilty.
Of violating the NBC code. Can I go ahead to speak now? Hello? Yeah, can I go ahead to speak?
Hello, madam. Oh, yes, please go ahead.
Can you hear me? All right.
Loud and clear.
Yes, I've been following events in my state for about 3 years. I wouldn't mention names just because I've said I should be careful with my words and all that. I don't want to heat up a conversation. And with what is currently happening in my state, I've bet that Ekiti deserves better. Ekiti people deserves better. That the state since 1999 that democracy began, we have not really seen development in the state. The state is underdeveloped in all sectors. So following events, I was like, and the people in government currently, they started coming up, their media guys were like, nobody is going to contest against us. Nobody is going to challenge us. We have all the former governors are with us. All the politicians, all the headlights in Ekiti, all the VIPs, they are with us, and nobody is going to challenge us. We are going to get the ticket the way we got it the last time, and the election is going to be a walkover. But if you have done well, if Ekiti is witnessing the best of governance, maybe I wouldn't have had to challenge or to go into the contest. But I felt that with what Ekiti is currently witnessing, these people, those Ekiti people, they have bought everybody and nobody is going to ask them questions. They can do and undo. Even they have wasted all our resources doing nothing. Nobody is going to challenge them. I felt that, well, if the men and everyone in Ekiti have been bought, I, as a person, cannot be bought. I cannot be bought. And I have every right to challenge and to contest against the incumbent, at least to bring hope back to my people, to let them, maybe when I'm eventually elected, to let them see what governance is all about and to let them know that any government, any governor, their priority should be the welfare of the people. How are the people in the state faring? They don't even have good roads to travel on. So what exactly is the current government doing in the state that makes them to feel nobody should or could challenge them? So I made up my mind that, well, I'm going to be in this race, not just to challenge the incumbent, but to win the primary and to go ahead and win the election. So that this time around, from 2026, there can be development in Ekiti State. In every sector, whether agricultural sector, education, health sector, every sector in Ekiti State should begin to witness development, like we are seeing in other states of the federation. The whatever is accruing to them from the federation account is being utilized to make the lives of their people better. So I decided to be in this race because of that, to bring good governance to Ekiti people. Are you there? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yes, madam, thank you very much for your opening. Hello, we're here. Thank you very much for your opening statement. Um, I just want to ask you one question next. You are a bona fide member of the APC, and the observations you're now making publicly, did you at any time, make these observations to the party leadership? I mean, as within the APC family, because it's like now you're washing Declan in public. I'm not saying that I agree with you 100% about the observations you've made about the way APC's resources have been deployed, because, well, it depends on where you're coming from. You are of that opinion, so the onus of proof is on you. But have you at any time made attempts to resolve these issues like a true party member? I'd like to ask you that question.
Uh, Over times, I know you are not just hearing of me for the very first time. I've always been a critic of the government, trying to let them know that they are not doing well, they are not doing the right thing. But they feel, and maybe they feel they bought everybody, all the leadership of the party in Ekiti State. They feel everybody is with them. So even if we go to them to go and complain, I spoke with a lot of people, telling them, look at what is happening in the state. Are you not talking to the governor and all that? But even the people that were not with the government initially that we were talking to, along the line, they became maybe friends of the governor or of the government. To see them what you were talking with them, what you were discussing, and what they were against initially, they started supporting. So you begin to wonder that, what is happening? Are we not seeing it? Are we saying we're having the best of governance in Ekiti State? So at that point, even if you go to any of them again to go and complain, look at what they just put you, they record you, and they go to the government to go and say, she's this, she's that, and all that. So they must have been hearing not. I spoke with a lot of people who later became the friend of the government, and they felt that the government is now doing well. So there wouldn't be any need for them to criticize the government.
In any case, I want to believe that politics is a matter of choice.
Yeah.
You have your own convictions, strength of your actions, you're going ahead to do what you're doing. But in a political position, uh, it's elective or like held an appointment. 1,000 miles begins with one. And as the Yoruba will say, "Ili pelebe." So why would you just want to dive into the pool from the deep end? The first time you want to contest an election, you're going for the governorship, or perhaps I could be wrong. Maybe you've done that something like that before. So let's hear from you.
Okay, before I begin to talk about myself, I want to take you back to look at the likes of Fayoshe, even Adebayo, the first executive governor of the state, and even Engineer Shegoni, Fayemi, all of them that have been governor in Ekiti State, did they at any time, putting that question to you, were they even in Ekiti State? Did they live in Ekiti State the way have lived in Ekiti State for over 35 years or 40 years before I started living elsewhere in the country? These people I've mentioned, most of them lived abroad or they never really lived in the state. But when they were convinced that they could govern Ekiti State, they came around. They were never elected. They didn't even contest. Like myself, over times I've contested for different elective positions in the party in the state. This antecedent that I have, these former governors that I've mentioned, none of them ever had that. None of them ever contested. None of them even ever bought a nomination form to contest for chairmanship in the state. But like 2, 3 times I've contested for chairmanship in that state. And at the primary level, just the way the interview I had yesterday, I said in the party, they used to give tickets, especially before the advent of President Tinubu. Even when they asked people to buy the forms and they buy the nomination form, at the end of the day, you find out they will just say, "Oh, this is the person we are willing to give the ticket," and there was never going to be a primary election.
Hello, are you there?
So
Hello.
I think that is why I've never won an election. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I
Hello?
can, but I must apologize for the poor quality
So
of
I
the
said,
network. I can hear
if
you right
if
now.
if if I ever got the party's ticket in the previous elections I've tried fight for, I would have won election.
Yes, one other issue that is very germane and very important is and when we talk about the, um, a chain of. So where do you fit into all that? Would you say that you have a support base enough to be able to guide what you are envisaging? And that's my next question to you.
You are breaking, please. Can you come again with the question? Hello? Please repeat.
I said, let us talk about.
Okay.
Achieve what you're talking about. Because in the APC, the party structure seems to be passed down from person to person, a very close knit thing. So fit into all that.
You are breaking, but I only had the last part of your question. So I'm just going to try to answer it. If you are talking about the structure of the party today, that is going to be involved in the primary election, it doesn't belong to anybody. It belongs to the party. And it is the aspirant who is able to convince the delegate, to convince that structure that when I become your governor, I'm going to be able to do this or that for you. That's the person that will get their votes. Today, that structure does not belong to anybody. It doesn't even belong to the current governor because he has been an appointee of the government over time since 1999, but he was never elected at any level. The first time he would go for an elective position was that 2022, and the party structure didn't even elect him. So the structure of that party does not belong to him. It belongs to every member of APC, especially to aspirants who are willing to contest to have the ticket of the party. So he cannot lay claims to, despite the fact that he's threatening, intimidating people in the party, he cannot say that structure belongs to him. Even if I wanted to make claims, I would have said, okay, that structure was put in place by Fayemi. So if today I'm able to convince the delegates that I will be a good governor to them and I can fulfill every conditions that will be given to me, I will have their support. I don't know. I'm not hearing. I don't know if you're hearing me. Hello? Hello? What?
Presently, we're experiencing presently, but I am quite able to follow you. You see, in, in politics, there are no permanent friends, there are no permanent enemies, only
Permanent interest.
you do hypothetically speaking now doing differently. What could you possibly be doing differently from what other successive governments have done in the past? Let's then now get down to the
Yes,
nitty-gritty.
I will
What
be investing
would you do differently?
in human capital development.
Which
Eh,
areas
Can
would
you
you
hear me? I will
prioritize?
be
Which areas would
investing.
you address? Which areas would you move out of?
I don't know if it's your network that is bad or mine. I can barely hear you. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello, madam. You're back on now. Go ahead.
All right. I
Go
said
ahead.
I will be
You're on.
investing in, yeah, I'm speaking already. I said I will be investing in human capital development in the state. which is one thing that successive government have not been doing in the state, investing in the people. And I will make sure that there will be an overhauling in the infrastructural development of the state. As it is today, I don't want to begin to go and this and this, the state of our roads, the state of our health sector and everything. So there will be an overhauling in that, in all the sectors, in education and everything. And we will be investing in agriculture. Hello? 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 So as a woman, I don't know if you are hearing me. Hello? Hello?
Hello, madam.
I will be bringing a different approach to governance. I will be investing in women,
I can hear you.
empowering
I can hear
youth,
you. Just breaking intermittently.
building factories in the state that will create employment for the youth. Are you hearing me? The resources, hello? I don't know. This interview is frustrating. I don't know if it's network or what.
Yes, madam. You spoke about building factories and creating employment. Well,
And making
like most
governance to
politicians
be
that want to take care of the
transparent,
votes of the
and I
people,
will be
they do
accountable to the people.
that. I really wouldn't want us to talk about the president of Ekiti State. And a cross section of the people are quite very happy with what he's doing. So let us leave that aside and talk about how you intend to make it presently that you are now so sure and so convinced that the people have been shortchanged. What is wrong? If people are praising him to high heavens, left, right, and center, why do you think that something right? You in particular, why?
Why I think something is wrong with the state or with the government currently in the state. I'm trying to ask you your question again, that what do I think is wrong with the government or the state, or what is your question, please?
I said a cross section of the people are quite happy with the present administration, aside from the people in the opposition. But you being a party member, you don't seem to agree with that set of people. You think you could do things differently. So I asked you, you spoke about investing in women, empowering the youth, building factories, and creating employment. I now said, what exactly do you think you can do differently that will now make the people have faith and confidence in you moving
And I've
forward?
mentioned that investing in the people, making their welfare a
Sorry,
priority.
madam, before you respond, okay.
Making their welfare a priority is going to be what my government will put in place, what my government will be doing for them. And I mentioned that the infrastructure of the state, we are going to be rehabilitating it. We are going to be investing in agriculture. And just like you said, these are not rhetorics. I'm not repeating what maybe other want to be elected as a governor in the state, curating industries where which is going to create employment in the state. We have the resources for that, but maybe it is not being channeled in the right direction. That is why we are not getting the right results. And if you think I think you said you asked a question that what do I feel is wrong with the state? You as a journalist, I'm putting that question back to you. Do you think what we have in Ekiti currently the best of what we should have as a government who is doing the will of the people, who is elected to
Well, I'm going to
serve the people.
respond to that.
You
I'm going
think
to
we are
respond
having
to
the
that
best of
diplomatically.
governance in the state currently? You think we're having the best of governance? This is the best that anyone could do. But me, I am putting it to you that this is the worst government in the history of Ekiti. The worst. That's done
Yes, like
nothing despite
I
its
said at the onset of
resources.
this program, everybody is entitled to his or her own opinion. You're entitled to yours. People might want to disagree with you, but the fact of the matter is that you cannot say that this government has not done. You see, there's always build on existing infrastructure and all that. So
Okay, I
people
would
are talking
like
about
you
roads.
sing.
I happen hold on, madam. I happen to know for a fact that this government has expended a lot of resources on some roads which are there to see. So the hue and cry about roads, which are the sole responsibility, is actually a low blow, if you ask me. You could talk about better relations with the federal government, talk about that, but it's
So what
rather
if
unfair
if
to
the governor who is an APC
for
member,
for things that ought to be done by the federal government.
if the governor who is an APC member is not even having the charisma and what it takes to have a good relationship with the federal government, am I the one who Ekiti people have not, am I the person who should go to the federal government to go and build a relationship with them to get things done in the state? And you, if you are hiding away from the truth, you said he has done some road. I would like you to mention the roads. Whether this road I'll be able to educate you if these roads are World Bank project or that under ramp. Because the only road I've seen that this government has invested in that's the ring road. And he has spent over 50 billion naira on that road as today. And that road is nowhere near completion. You are surprised. We got a bond with a what's the name? This is it Cranebrook at 2.5 billion naira. And over the last 2 3 years, he has spent about 20 billion naira. And this road, as it is today, that road leads to nowhere. The roads within the state capital, the roads in the state, they are not motorable, but you are expending billions of naira on that ring road that leads to nowhere. Even the airport road, the last time my friends were there that traveled by air through that road, they said by the time they were returning back to Abuja, that they got to Abuja before the people that went to drop them at the airport got to town in Hadrekiti where they were going. And that even after they have gotten to Abuja, that 30 minutes after, those people have not gotten to town, to Hadrekiti town, because of the state of that road. So if within Hadrekiti, if you look at the Afe Babalola road, the Habuad road, the Odoado road, that road is within the state capital. Even if you are claiming that road is a federal road, there is a part of it that belongs to the state, that the state should make motorable. But what I'm asking you now, what is the state of that road today? 50 billion naira that is expending on that ring road, or the over 20 billion naira that has been expended on the flyover in Ichibo. If he has used this money on these roads, are we going to be saying all these things? You said the low and they are just a level of low or something like that. I didn't get that what to say. Are you saying people complaining about these roads, they don't know what they are doing? Or you feel that we are having the best of governance by having those bad roads in Ekiti State? And I'm sure you have traveled to other roads or your state, you have traveled to Kwara, you have been to other states. Is that how their federal government roads are in their state? Even when you go to your state, you see Makinde constructing a lot of federal government. We have spent money on over 1,000 kilometers of federal government roads. Makinde is a PDP man, an opposition to the government at the central. He has never complained. He's never out there saying the federal government is this and this and that. The governor is only there to say their federal government. That's no excuse. He's just being incompetent and he's not doing what he's supposed to do. So if you are asking me that, if you are telling me that having those bad roads in Ekiti State is the best we could have of him, that means we need to change him. Let somebody
Quite
that can
honestly,
do it,
madam, I
that
really
can
don't know
fix our
what's
roads.
happening because recently, even madam, please hold on. Even citizens in the Oyo State, Osun State, were appealing to the federal government to come to their rescue because of the deplorable condition of their roads. So it's neither here nor there. Well, you could say that government, not the person who epitomizes government now, but that government is not doing enough to should I say, elicit federal government involvement. You could say that. But, well, if we're doing comparisons, it's there. Ekiti State is not an exception. But in any case, that's what I would like us to address. You do recall that Mr. President actually had to call practically all the governors to question about what is being done and the way they are deploying the resources of their respective states. So, um, I think the problem is the state government. I don't think the federal government is doing enough to oversee the activities of the state governments vis-a-vis how they would like them to deploy the funds that are being released to them. But as well, apportion blame to the right as well. I asked you basically, what will you be doing differently? And you said you do that. The fact that they're always from the cost of
This,
the
this,
other
I
states of
don't
the
know.
federation because of our topography. We are in a hilly terrain. To construct 2 or 3 kilometers here might cost triple or quadruple what you will spend in a place like Kwara State, for instance, because there you have flat land. The more you move to the north, the more it's easy to construct roads. And that is why most places in the north have better roads than in the south. I just
Well, if you
I
are
don't want to
speaking for the
argue with
governor,
you, but
or
I want us
if you are
to
speaking,
base these things on facts and figures actually.
that's what I'm. If you are speaking for the governor or for
I
the
am not speaking
government,
for anybody.
all right,
I'm just
just
stating the
hold on.
obvious. I'm just stating the obvious.
Okay,
You said Sheyi Makinde has
if you
constructed
feel that because of our landscape, the roads are bad. Hello, are you there? Can you hear me? This is frustrating. Hello? Hello? I don't
Hello,
know.
we're here.
I don't know, your network is frustrating. Just go off and on. So I was saying that if you feel that our landscape is the problem, our landscape is the reason the roads are there the way they are. We used to have government in the state, fixed roads in the state. Government that have not even gotten maybe up to 20 or 50% of the money that this government have gotten. And they were able to fix roads. I know that during the time of Adebayo, Fayemi, he did that Ijigbo Atikonkan road. He dualized that road. I know that he constructed the Bank Road in Road in his second term. Know that during in his administration, he used to ensure that local governments were constructing 5 kilometers roads in each of the local governments. I want to ask you, how many of that roads of such pain, such projects have you seen this government doing? Despite the fact that the allocation coming to the local government, like the last one, the June allocation, the least a local government in Ekiti got was 300 and something, 350 million thereabout. Ilegemeji. Ado Ekiti got over 500 million naira. And that is what has been the case since President Tinubu have become the president. So if a local government like Ado Ekiti is getting 500 million naira in a month, I want to ask you, mention one or two projects or kilometer or 1 kilometer of road or 200 meters of drainages that this local government has that they have constructed in the last 3 years. I'm asking you because you were saying and they are doing well. Yeah, we should not put apportion blame. We should blame the federal government. No, we are no longer on federal roads now. I'm asking you.
Madam, I never said any such thing. But better put to people who serve the people in the local government, not me.
Well, you
We're
could
both
also
practicing
invite
journalists.
them. You could also invite them
Precisely.
to your
That's it.
program.
So I'm
So
not in a
just
position.
like I've
Yes, of course, but I'm
mentioned,
not in a
I
position to
mentioned,
respond to these questions.
see, just like I mentioned roads constructed during the Fayem's regime. Me, I would have loved them or you to mention such projects under this administration. At least one, two. In Hadwekiti Township, the only road I've seen this government touch happens to be the Omission Jano Road. And at the end of the day, I had to find out that that road was even done by Rand World Bank. It was not done by Ekiti State government or Hado local government. So the 500 million naira they get that Ado Ekiti gets every month. Yes. Even during Fayoshe's regime, I think they were still doing that 5 kilometer road project in every of the local governments. But since this administration, despite how the allocation coming to the state have tripled, I have not had that one local government constructed it. I can tell you a very sad experience I had just last week. A director in the local government had to ask me to borrow money from me. A director in a local government, a department director not to ask me to borrow him money because he did not have what his family was going to eat that night. If at that level you look at the level, maybe a level 14, 15 officer having that kind of issues, what do you think the junior staff of that local government will be going through? Despite the huge amount of money coming to them every month. You don't want me to mention this government. We are not talking about roads now. We are not talking about the welfare of our people in the state.
Okay, fair enough, madam. Fair enough, madam. Fair enough, fair enough. You've identified some lapses and all that. So, the things you have spoken about in the last 2 minutes or 3 minutes or thereabout, how do you intend to go about it? Because you spoke about allocations to local governments. The fact that 99.9% of governors and state government administrations in Nigeria have actually kicked against
We
local
always
government
have a
autonomy is
way
there
of
for all to see.
pushing,
If the
of
state is,
talking about other
Madam,
governors in
I'm calling your
Nigeria.
attention. I'm calling your attention. Yes, I do because it is the truth. We have to create a balance. My profession
Are
calls
the
for objectivity.
peculiarity in our state.
If
We
you
are
were treating
talking
Ekiti State in
about our
isolation,
state now.
I just asked you a question. Yes, and I asked you, how do we intend to address that? That is my question to
All
you.
right.
How do we intend to
I
address
will
that?
ensure
You've
that the
identified a problem.
I will ensure
When
that
the
the
problem is identified, that problem is half solved. How do you intend to
okay.
address it?
I will ensure that
Please go ahead.
the federal government they've approved or they have passed into law the autonomy to local government. I will be granting the local government 100% autonomy. I am saying it now, 100% autonomy to the local government so they can function. The democracy, you look at it as it should be the government. That's the definition. Government of the people for the people. When you're looking at the people in Ekiti State, the grassroots, they are suffering. The local government should be the nearest government to them, where they can go to address their problems. But what you see in Ekiti State today is this chairman, they run away from their local government. They run away from their houses, from their offices, because they cannot even solve their own immediate problem, not to talk of solving the problems of the people. Because they don't have the resources, they don't have the money to do that. I'm involved in construction of roads. I do that as part of the things I do as a contractor. And I got this experience from my mom, because I used to follow her to the local government in those days. Then it used to be the councillors constructing drainages and culverts. This contract used to be awarded by chairmen of local government. I remember specifically my mom got contracts from Chief Okondo while he was the chairman of Ikere local government. And there was the poverty the reason I said this government intentionally weaponized poverty. These councillors today, the salary they are collecting cannot even feed them. Not to talk of the government now giving them money for projects in their constituencies. If the money of the local government is given to the local government, the chairman can award contract, the councillors can award contract, you will see that there will be no poverty at the grassroots. Because the money that they will be able to put to call local artisans, they will work. Bricklayers will work, carpenters will work, welders will work. Of poverty at that level would have been solved. Nobody will even remember the governor, nobody will remember the president, because they have a chairman that they can go to who will address their problems. But because this chairman, they are handicaps. Somebody was saying, I read it somewhere on social media, that during the Segun Oni's administration, councillors were collecting 300 and something thousand. But in this administration, they are collecting 150 or 180,000 naira thereabouts. Could you imagine such wickedness with the economy of Nigeria today? If in 2007, 2009, 10 thereabout, a councillor was collecting 300,000 naira, and today that they have more money in their local government, a governor is now giving them 180,000 naira. While the governor is eating and vomiting alongside his family members and his friends. These people are suffering. Not because we don't have money, or is it the federal government, is it the president that is our problem again at this level? So one thing I'm going to do is to ensure that the money of the local government goes to the local government, so that our people can be sorted. Their issues can be sorted. Another thing I want to talk about is the issue of agriculture. Last year, a sum of 50 billion naira was given to Ekiti State to be invested in agriculture for food security. In developed countries, you see, in places where they think there are challenges, there is something like an ATM card. This ATM machine that we have, something like that is a rice dispenser, where they put rice and there's a card, maybe like your ATM, you slot it in and it gives you certain kilograms of rice. So imagine when we were growing up, the rice we used to know happens to be the Igbemo rice. Am I lying? It used to be Igbemo rice. This foreign rice was not even common then. Imagine if that 50 billion naira had been invested in agriculture in Ekiti State. You could imagine this kind of the rice dispenser that I talked about, Igbemo Ekiti producing rice, and we can put rice inside that machine for people who are needy to go there, and they will not be hungry, there will be food. But the 50 billion naira, when you ask this government, they can't even account for it. The last thing I saw them doing was showing us golden penny flour that they bought and gari and all that, and I laughed. You can deceive some of the people some of the time, but you cannot deceive all the people all of the time. So these are things that we'll be investing in agriculture, so that we make our people, we do away with hunger. Because our Ekiti, a máa ń pòwe pé tí ebi bá ti kúrò nínú ìṣẹ́ ti bòṣe. If we can feed our people, if our people can feed themselves, we won't even be complaining about the state government. Nobody will have time to go and look for the governor. They will be able to go to their chairman in the state, go to their councillors, go to leaders who are empowered. And then you can see the governor intimidating the structure of the party in the state. It is because they live on him, they look up to him before they can feed their families. But in those days that I was talking about during the Shegoni and the Secondo, it used to be party chairman that used to do superb projects. This project, the governor used to give it, maybe they are doing a super project in one primary school, they will call the chairman in that local government, ward chairman and local government chairman, they will tell them this is your project, and maybe they will now bring a contractor, they will tell the contractor, this is the sum you do, this is how much you give. So anybody was empowered, there was money, and nobody could intimidate anybody. But today now, I remember the last time, I don't know if you want me to mention that they were talking, there was a party in Ishon, at Ishon when Fireme was there. And the person where they were shouting, they were complaining, and they are hungry, they were not giving money to them. And Fireme was like telling them that the money that was supposed to be given to you was channeled through the office of the SSG. And who was the SSG then? It was this, our current governor. And for me to be asking him, the money meant for these party people, what have you done with it? And I had at that party, Fayemi had to call him Ole. He said it. Ole, and the people now started calling Ole, 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 Ole.
Sorry, madam, keep that because I told you here we want to address issues and not personalities. You're putting me in a very bad position actually. It's because
She don't want us
he's
to.
still the governor of Ekiti State as of today. I don't want us to ruffle any feathers. We are bound by there's the NBC and all that. But you see, the social media is
I don't want to break your rules, but while we are
there.
speaking
Yeah,
certain things, we can't do without mentioning certain things.
exactly. So yeah, but it must be guided by diplomacy
All
and
right.
tact.
When you
You
and
can
whenever you
speak
think I'm
without
going
you
overboard,
can
just call
speak
me
without
to order.
considering issues. So what I'd like you to talk about now is your clear-cut plan of bringing, from your perspective, the much needed succor to Ekiti people. That doesn't have to depend on comparative analysis.
Okay.
That's strictly coming from you as a
Okay.
person who is passionate. Now let's talk about that. Your manifesto, in a manner of speaking, how do you want to go about it? That's all.
Okay.
Okay. The fact that nowadays the average graduate has to ride Okada to feed his family. That
Can you imagine?
challenge. It's not government that is
Well,
inducing that
that's a
or
challenge,
pointing that
and
direction.
that's sad.
No, yes, okay. For instance, to the issue of housing, rent is ridiculous. These are things I want you to talk about because these are things that make things easier for the people. I mean, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Healthcare provision, motorable roads,
Just like
and all
I've
that. So,
mentioned,
how do you want to go about creating? Because the first thing is to create a conducive environment where people can thrive and function. So let's talk about things like that.
okay, the first thing is to create a conducive environment, just like you said. And that should start with the
Yes, so
rehabilitation of our roads. So the first thing my government will be embarking on is to ensure that within 6 months, all these roads, whether federal government, whether state government roads, are rehabilitated in good order. Today you say, and they will say it's peace, 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 peace that they are fighting for in Ekiti for development. There is peace in quotes. There is peace in quotes according to them, but there is nothing. The people are hungry. So after rehabilitating the road, alongside, we will be investing in agriculture. Look at what is happening in Niger State. What the governor has been able to do is investment in agriculture has brought back trillions of naira to the state. You'd have seen that the Lagos state government, they signed an MOU with them to produce food for them. And they were giving money. So if you have invested in agriculture and you are producing enough to feed your state, other people will bring money, which through which you can create industries that will employ our people. Like this our graduate that you said are now Okada riders, which is a very pathetic thing. They can now, you cannot put them when those industries are created, you can put them there to work. There will be employment in the state. Nobody, the people that will be riding Okada are people maybe that are not educated. But you wouldn't see graduate master's degree holders coming to come and be riding Okada to feed. That's not going to happen during my administration. We are going to ensure that, just like I've said, that the money, the local government money will be their money. And they will be able to invest it to people will be able to come there, they will be able to solve people's problems. We are going to ensure that this 5 kilometer road project, we return it back. We ensure that every local government every year must do that 5 kilometer road project. We are going to be looking at our health sectors. If you look at what is happening in the hospitals, even the teaching hospitals that we have in Ekiti, we are seeing situations where violence erupted because of people dying. They did not have enough doctors to attend to them and that and all that. We will ensure that we equip the hospitals. Look at Afe Babalola, the Abuad Hospital, an individual, just one person put that facility in place. What is a government doing that you cannot do such, even in your teaching hospitals, not to talk of local governments? And I'm not sure if you get to the teaching hospital in Ekiti today, you can have a scan, this CT scan and all that machine that you can use. So the hospitals will be equipped. I am sure by the time we are done with the health sectors in Ekiti people will not have to be flown abroad or to other states, to Abuja, to access healthcare facilities, because we will rehabilitate everything. So if you are taking the road, you have done the road, you have put it in order, you are putting the hospitals in order, you have created industries. Even those are the three things you are able to do during 4 years. People will know you. People will. That is what this government have done. Nobody will even be talking. He would have gotten that second term on a platter of gold. And you will look at you said we should not make comparison. Let me not start making comparison. But if I want to talk about the flyover they are constructing at Ijigbo, you will know that's a misplaced priority. Because the over 20 billion naira that they have expended on that road, if they have done that with the Linky Road, the other roads, Agilosun, what is this? I'm trying to that Adekade area. Is that okay, Bola? If they have put that money in fixing all the roads within the Adro metropolis and other local government, would have even had things that he can use to convince us that he deserves a second term. So these are things we'll be looking at. I'm sure in 1 year, the Hado metropolis, you will see the changes there. It will be so beautiful that people outside will want to always come to Ekiti. Most of our people, they japa this day, they don't even want to come back because of what is happening. But then, even Ekiti people abroad in diaspora, they want to come home because the security, we are going to also be looking at the area of security. When you look at the budget performance report of Ekiti State, you see billions of naira that this government have expended, that they have put on paper, that they have spent on security. And today, you will see kidnappers, they will enter palaces, kidnap kings and kill them. You go to the suburbs in Ekiti, you see a lot of things. There's no security in the state. That's another thing we are going to be investing in, making the state so secure that Ekiti diasporas, they will be at peace to come home. The airport that they have been on for 4 years, will make it functional. And when we invest over 50 billion naira in that agro airport, we'll be able to function to capacity because there will be enough food to eat and to export. But we have expended so much on that airport, we can't even feed ourselves in the state. And you're talking of we have a cargo airport where we want to be exporting food abroad. We are just deceiving ourselves. But that is not going to continue. That is what we want to put. We're going to put an end to the deceit. We have had enough. Let us bring good governance to our state. Let us develop our state. One of my friends in my lawyer that is attending the MBA conference in Enugu, he told me, he said, that he got to Enugu, he saw what the governor there has done and is ashamed of himself. That's when the governor came to address them yesterday and he presented his scorecard, which are visible, not audio project, not things we have to go. This government, the media heads of our governor will tell us to go and see on dashboard. These are things that you can see visibly. He said when the governor addressed them and presented them, he said they were happy, but Ekiti guys, Ekiti lawyers, they were ashamed. They wanted to weep. He called me this morning. He was the one on call with me while you were trying to get across to me the other time. He was telling me that, what do we do about our state? I said, we are putting in our best. And I pray God we crown our effort with success.
Amen. Well, madam, our time is fortunate. It's very interesting talking to you. And so I can assure you that this will not be the first and only time we'll be reaching out to actually bear your mind on the areas we think in Ekiti. I must tell you too that I myself am from Ekiti, and that's actually a very wonderful surprise because I never knew you're from that part. And don't you know your birthday that month? Very bold, very concerned about the fellow man. So on that note, I want to wish you the very best in your present endeavor and also your future endeavors. But I think, well, it's just a little piece of advice. Constructive criticism always has results. You are very, 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 really very quarrelsome, and I think you should just lay down those qualities. And I can assure you, you will be accommodated in
Well,
the state.
yeah,
Don't forget
I
that the state.
understand what you are trying to say, but sometimes I'm actually kitty. We're nothing will. If some people think they are mad and you want to wrestle with them and you want to, power, or what do I say, is not given, it's not served a la carte. You have to wrestle for it. And if the people they are going to fight dirty, you want to we are ready to put everything at stake. Let us forget sophistication, integrity, and all that. When we are done fighting this battle, we can begin to present ourselves as sophisticated people. But at a time when our people are suffering, they are crying, they are going through a lot of hardship. We will put that sophistication. I don't care what anybody have to say about me. Fayoshe, Fayoshe, his personality, and I think I'm in all my combative, whatever you say, state, I can still be better. He was the 2 times governor, and he was maybe during his time one of the most loved governor. So when we are pretending we don't want to fight, we don't. Please, let's forget that. We are not going to be gentle this time around because you saw the governor coming out to come and threaten everybody. So if we are just there playing that we are good people, we are sophisticated people, we're never going to get where we are going to. If we have to come out, I'm not a violent person. No, I don't preach violence. I'm not a violent person. But when it comes to speaking the truth, anywhere, anytime, any day, I am battle ready.
Yes, my last question today is well, the primary election is around the corner. It's actually nigh. That's the 27th of October. What if you don't emerge, according to your expectations and all that? Then what
I,
next? Do you want to
that's
just step
what
aside
if
and, keep to
that what
yourself,
if
or you want
I
to
don't want to
continue
well,
contributing?
let me say one thing I would like to say at this point is
You want to remove it from your lexicon now.
Yes, I don't want to be player because of my faith. No, but one thing is, I am not desperate to become a governor. But I want to tell you today, I want you to quote me. I am desperate to see that Biodun Yebanji does not return as the governor of Ekiti State. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it's going to cost us. Because if our state should continue in this state for another 4 years, we are not even going to have a state again. So if I don't want to believe I'm not going to emerge because all power belongs to God and He gives it to whoever He wills. I don't want to believe I'm not going to emerge the candidate of the party or the governor of Ekiti State. But if peradventure the president decides, that's it should be the president's decision that, okay, this is the person he wants, which definitely, by the grace of God, is not going to be Oyebanji. We are going to work with that person to ensure, as long as it's a vision, somebody that has a vision and a mission to develop Ekiti State, I'm not going to have an issue with that. But at this point, I'm not discussing that with anybody. That will be the decision of the president. And when we get to that bridge, we are going to cross it.
Yes, like I said, I thank you so much for making time to be with us on this program. And I wish you the very, very best of all things in the coming days. Thank you so much. Yes, there, listen, for the last 1 hour, thereabout, we've been talking to Madam Olajimoke Abimbola Olawumi, gubernatorial aspirant on the platform of the APC in the forthcoming primary election in Ekiti State. Well, we hope that as time goes on, all other aspirants will make time to be with us too. So we want and be able to take uh, uh, valid decisions and have opinion points to move on. Thank you so much and stay with us for the rest of our broadcast of programs. I'm still very much Thank you and God bless.